And welcome back here, guys. Dante Finiguera podcast. We're back. We're rolling live. If you first time listening in, I was prior Navy. I'm now a personal trainer, and we're going to be doing a reaction video to a guy who I've just recently seen kind of talk about, veterans being out there in the public, specifically like Special Force guys. Getting called out, and I don't really know this guy at all. I've seen him on a few videos. I don't think I've been around him when I was in the military, but his name's Chadd. I think Chadd Wright. But yeah, I thought he brought up a couple of good things, and it's kind of something that I've been kind of going through since I've been out for about a year and a half, just kind of dealing with like, who am I? What do I talk about? What's good to talk about? What's bad to talk about? How do you just change that active duty mindset to be in a civilian veteran mindset to where it's like totally two different things? But I don't know. I thought he brought up some interesting points. Don't know him once again, so I don't know if he knows me, but let's get it on and see what's going on here. Oh God. I think I just clicked the wrong button. If you want to come check it out, Tyler. I clicked it twice, and now it's gone. When I clicked it, it just went up there.
Oh, no, yeah, it's recording.
I should know this. Used to be a comms guy. Boom. Thank you. Here we go. Let's see what he's got to say.
What's up, guys? I wanted to come on here today and share a few things with you that I think need to be said but are hard to say, all right? It seems to be the latest trend here on social media for veterans to come out and try to shame and attack other veterans, to nitpick their stories, to try to put them down for past mistakes or failures or things like that.
Okay.
It's really, really prevalent on social media. Most of you guys have probably been exposed to it. And you're probably wondering, why the crap are these guys doing this to each other?
Why the crap?
Well, you're getting a
first-hand
look into a really, really broken culture, right? And that is the culture within the military.
Crazy beard.
First of all, when there's no mission, when there's no war, when there's no task and purpose,
no war.
kind of what guys end up doing.
That's what I've heard from people.
Fighting each other,
there's no war. People just get crazy. You have nothing else to do. So
there's your first-hand look into that
rages
culture.
on.
I want to explain to you guys the reason that all of this hate is getting directed at certain people, and mainly the top people, guys like David Goggins, guys like Jocko, guys like Marcus Luttrell. A lot of hate gets directed at them, right? Because
SEAL
they have
/ Special Force guys
that's never been seen
successful.
before. Those guys are on a whole nother level than I'm on. They've worked their freaking butts off, man. They've all made millions of dollars, and they've positively impacted the lives of millions of people. But a lot of hate gets directed at them from the veteran community and other guys within the same communities where they served. Most specifically, the Naval Special Operations community. Why is that freaking happening? All right. A lot of you think that is jealousy. It's not jealousy. These guys that are coming out and trying to bash Jocko and trying to bash David and Marcus, it's not that they're freaking jealous of them, man. That's not what it is. The guys that are coming out and bashing these dudes are simply stuck in the same culture that they grew up in.
All right, let's give a little pause. Interesting. Not jealousy, same culture they grew up in. He's got a point. Or maybe it is jealousy. You never know. I don't know. I don't know Jocko or any of those guys. I don't know the guys that are bashing him. I think what's been going on is I almost like look at this stuff. I don't follow it too deep, but it is like a little fun little reality TV, that I get from time to time. I think there's some like Army or like Delta Force guys or Special Force guys that are coming out and trying to, bash. I think it's Jocko, Marcus Luttrell, Rob O'Neill. I think Goggins had something going on with I think he's just people think he's just crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of those guys. I don't know the story really behind anything. I think people just were coming after Rob O'Neill for saying that he didn't shoot bin Laden and that he's kind of backtracking his story. So there's something there. I don't know. I think something with Jocko is that like these guys are finding SEALs that went or were with Jocko during his time, and they were saying like he wasn't a good leader and he was dangerous and he was getting people killed and all that. And I'm like, okay, like that's another story that who knows is true or not. Like maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe everyone has their own different point of view. I have no idea. Maybe Jocko was a bad leader. Maybe he's good now. Who knows? And Marcus Luttrell, I think people are coming after him for changing up his story all the time. So like a lot's going on in the frickin' special force world, and I kind of find it very fun. But stuck in the same culture, I'm kind of curious where he's going to go with this. Let's move on.
In the military, they're stuck in that same culture, that same way of thinking. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Most of you don't understand. One of the military's most effective ways of retaining their members is by convincing guys who are serving that what they do in the military is the pinnacle of their life. What they do in the military is the Super Bowl. That nothing they will ever be able to do outside of the military is going to be as good as what the military allows.
Maybe you do that to yourself if you become special forces or SEAL or something. You might do that to yourself. I don't know if they try to make you feel that way. It's at least not what I got, but maybe
I believed it.
He's talking about his era or something.
Happens is,
yeah, I can see that being true also.
Guys spend their whole lives in the military or half their life in the military, and they get out and they go on to create something freaking off the chain. They go on to become super wealthy, make the world a better place, create an amazing business, and they get a lot of traction. That culture hates them, right? Because that culture says, there's no way he could have done that. The only way that guy is so successful, any of those three guys I named earlier, what the special operations culture
I need to start talking like him.
What they see them, what they think
hell?
is they say the only reason those guys were able to be that successful is because they basically just sold out, man. They're pimping out their trident. They're pimping out their military service for personal gain. I want you to understand, if you're listening to this,
first time I've heard that term, pimping out the trident.
Maybe you're a service member, a veteran, an active duty person. You're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, that's right. I want you to understand how flawed that thinking is. If you buy into a culture that hates an individual for leveraging their life experience in order to create something new for themselves, to create their business, their brand, or to make the world a better place, if you hate them for that, do you understand why that's flawed? If you've got a guy who spends his whole adult life serving his country, and then he gets out of the military and he doesn't talk about the lessons that he learned while he was in, he doesn't talk about his literal life experience,
Chad's giving a sermon right now.
What else is he going to talk about? What else is he going to teach from? What else is he going to build off of? Nothing.
Boom! Disc just said it was full, by the way. So I think, yeah, stop there. Interesting. Yeah, I think what he's saying is what my brain's just been exploding with since I've gotten out, or even when I was slowly getting out, and now being out. It's exactly these things that I'm trying to say. And I would even talk about this when I was active duty with like my peers, peer to peer. I was always just like, yeah, I don't get the big deal about people getting out and talking about it, as long as it's you're not abusing that or pimping it out in such like a way that's wrong, I guess. So maybe makes a good point on like leveraging what you just did, because it seems like everyone gets the hate when they leverage their military background, specifically if you're a SEAL or Special Forces or Delta or Green Beret, that is Special Forces, Ranger, whatever, MARSOC, sorry. Yeah, if you're out and you're doing that and you're creating content and you're out, it's for everyone to see. That's when people go back to like the SEAL ethos, and like specifically it says, I do not advertise the nature of my work or something like that, like, or seek recognition for my actions. It's the SEAL ethos is a massive, long, I don't know, like 500 words or something like that. And everyone zooms into that. There's so much other shit on there, and everyone zooms into that one thing, and it's very broad. It's very just like, does that mean active duty only? I mean, like when I get out, I still can't like put it on my resume, but like, oh, I can put it on my resume if I'm about to be a consultant for a big company, but I can't, build a brand and use it on that part of my resume. So like, it's just those questions that kind of like were blowing my mind while I was in the military. I understand like you don't want to be active duty, and you don't want to be like going off saying you're Special Forces. It's just weird if you work any job and you're just like, I'm a fucking carpenter, fuck yeah. It's like, whoa, man, chill. But yeah, it's just not being able to leverage that if you want to be in content creation or brand building. I understand the fine line between like pimping it out. Thanks for giving me that word, Chad. Now it's my new word. And doing it in a responsible way and not abusing that, I guess, because there's definitely ways you can abuse it. Specifically, like if this frickin' podcast ever took off and they came to me, or a news organization came to me like, Dante, we know you're a SEAL, or you once were a SEAL, and you have this platform. Can you come on our platform and talk about, like, for instance, like Israel and Palestine, or like Ukraine and Russia? I'd be like, fuck no, because I don't know shit about that. And they would be using me pimping the Trident to get views for their thing, where I have zero knowledge of that situation. So that would be something to where I would be abusing that power. If they're like, Dante, teach us about a freaking push-up, or like an exercise thing, or like what it was like starting a podcast. Like, cool, sounds good. I might have some expertise in that, so I've been doing it, or whatever. It's just not abusing that. I think it was what he's trying to say. But yeah, you should be able to leverage and talk about what you did, because then you just, like for me, I did 10 years and I get out and I'm like, well, I didn't do anything. I can't say anything. But I can put it on a resume. I can get hired that way. Just anyway, silent professional. Just do it in a cool way. Moving on. Wait. I'm going to skip over a little bit. I think he goes into like suicides and veterans being homeless and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if there's any Special Forces guy. I can't really talk to like conventional people. I don't know if a bunch of people are getting homeless because they don't feel like they can talk, but I don't really have much knowledge about that issue. So let's see what's going on over here. There we go.
If I could sum this all up, man, I think it's worth being said also that these people who are coming out and attacking guys like Jocko and David and Marcus, and these guys who are coming out and freaking trying to shame them and nitpick them and all this stuff, man, you don't even know them, dude. You don't know who you don't even know who they are. It's amazing how there's this false reality that's been created that we think that we know other people based off of the little snippets of them we see on social media. And we think we know them well enough to comment on their character, to comment on who they are today. Maybe you used to know them, but I guarantee you don't still know them. You don't still spend time with them. You don't still work with them. You don't still see them on a regular basis. And you know what's unique about people? People change. So if you knew somebody a long time ago and maybe they made some mistakes, maybe they weren't the most upstanding person, did you ever think maybe they're not that way anymore? Maybe they lived and learned and changed and grew.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, people commenting like it would be funny if this thing would ever turn off or get bigger, turn on. And, yeah, someone comments like about me like years from now being like, oh man, you were a freaking turd, dude. It's like, cool. All right. It's such like I mean, he has a good point. Yeah, you really don't know people and their character after they get out of the military, unless you're still talking to them. You grow, I think, somewhat. I mean, I've grown just being out, just kind of like being in the grind of like working for yourself now. Like you grow and you have to change, and I could see that. Attacking someone's character in the past, like for instance, I think why Jocko was being attacked is like, oh, he's making money off leadership, but he was a bad leader or whatever. Even that could be argued towards like, cool, maybe he's a good leader now. Maybe he was a bad one. Maybe he learned from it. Now he's a good one in the civilian world. So cool. Still like that kind of ruins that point. But I see what he's saying. Yeah, it is definitely, I mean, I can't speak to what it is now, what it was in the past, but when I was in, like, it's always fun to just, like, talk shit. Like, you know, if someone rises up a little bit too much while you're in, you could always, like, find something bad about it. I'm like, oh, he was probably a boat ducker or something, or he sucked that log. Like, it's just that kind of, like, it's playful, but it's also, I could see it being, like, a toxic thing. You can't let anyone get too high up. You know, everyone has to be, you know, because you're part of a team. So I see that when you're active, but when you get out, it's like, dude, climb the freaking ladder, man. Go as high as you want. And if people are trying to bring you back down, then like, screw you, you know, or frick you, what frickin' Chad would say. So I see that. He's bringing up good points. I don't agree with everything, but I would say I agree with a good amount of it. Let's see here.
If you're leveraging these platforms to bring disgrace or dishonor or shame on other veterans, I want you to know that you are the one who is disgraceful.
Damn.
You are disgraceful. And ultimately, you are bringing shame on your own self. How do I know that? Because when I was immature, when I was just out of the military, when I was still bought into that culture, I contributed to the negative conversation about certain other service members.
Man, Chad, I just said that.
I didn't even know.
Shit.
I contributed to that conversation. And you know what?
Same, brother.
When I look back on that, I freaking cringe, man.
Cringe. I got to stop saying cringe. I said cringe.
Upon myself.
I think the first or second podcast, and I was told that was cringe, saying cringe. So
disgraceful, dude.
All right, what do we got here? Disgraceful.
What's the solution? Well, the solution is to realize you were part of a culture that's broken.
Come on, Chad. It's not all broken.
You're now part of something
I see what he says, though. I'm seeing what he says.
And if you want to be successful, you better change a few things about the way you act and about the way you talk. How about you realize that it's not your job to hold other people accountable? That's not your freaking job, man.
When you're out, for sure.
You don't know the whole freaking
unless the person's doing something egregiously wrong.
You don't know the context. You don't know the whole circumstance. You don't freaking know, man.
But yeah, good point.
It ain't your job to hold people accountable. And you're a fool.
Podcasters holding podcasters accountable, baby. We're in it.
So, all that being said, if you're a veteran and you're listening to this, I want to encourage you to go out and freaking crush it, man. I want to encourage you to leverage your life experience in order to create something new for yourself and take it as far as you want to take it, man. Go
Preach.
as big as
Enemy.
you want to go. And I want you to know
I'm motivated.
that these people, these broken people who will come out and attack you along the way and try to shame you and try to discredit you,
The computer's
I want you
getting
to know
real
that
loud.
they can't win.
What's going on here?
They can't win. That it's impossible for them to win. And I hope that encourages some of you guys who have been holding back. I hope that encourages some of you guys who have such a wealth of experience in failure, in experience in success, experience in teamwork, experience in leadership or lack thereof.
Boom. Lack thereof. Damn, Chad, you're getting crazy now. Shit. I agree, brother. Yeah, freaking send it, man. And that was, I held back for a while. And I mean, I was afraid to get, I don't want to speak for my peers that are still in there, but it seemed to me when we would have convos, it's a scary thing getting out because it's like, what do I do? You know, am I going to be a contractor? Am I going to just like wear a suit and be a consultant? I'm too afraid to make my own brand and talk on camera, so can't be an entrepreneur and do that shit unless you're good at making jerky. Shout out to Debunking Jerky. We'll have him on the pod. He's one of my best friends that was active peer-to-peer. But yeah, it's like I've made so many stupid, dumb mistakes in the military as a SEAL. And before I was in the military, I made stupid mistakes. And someone could come back and be like, yeah, don't listen to this guy because he did this one thing or these 10 things while he was in. And that means he's forever this person. And yeah, it doesn't, I mean, once you get out, you just realize you're like, oh shit, cool. You're always going to make mistakes. You're always going to fuck up. And it doesn't really mean you can't ever find your passion and do whatever you want to do, whether it's like building a brand or doing like anything that's almost in content creation to where you're out in front of the public doing whatever you want to do. Or let's say you wanted to like build chairs and you wanted to be the best chair builder and someone's like, oh, well, you were shitty, freaking demo builder and as a SEAL, so you probably suck at chairs. It's like, you got to get rid of that kind of those people and that toxic energy. But also at the same time, not everyone is like that. I was usually around pretty chill people. You just see it from time to time, and you see yourself do that especially while you're in. Once you're out, it's like, well, that shit doesn't really matter anymore, but it matters in your head. So you kind of have to just, for me at least, I have to just keep thinking, I'm like, cool, I'm not in this active duty mindset anymore. Like I gotta move on with my life and do what I want to do, build my brand. Whatever the hell that's going to be still. I have no idea what it's going to be. Could be freaking reacting to videos or having just all my friends on the pod until something freaking pops off. But yeah, anyway, cool, Chad. Don't know ya. Thanks for the good word, motivation. I agreed with a lot of it. Didn't agree with everything, but yeah, hell yeah, brother. Thanks for listening. That was a short one. I was reacting pod, my first reaction. Let me know how I did before I start stumbling on my words here. Like and subscribe. YouTube channel, enemy_fitness. Instagram's Dante Finiguera. Sandbag workouts every Saturday. I post them on my Instagram every Thursday, and it's for that coming Saturday. That's in Laguna Beach. If you want to come check it out, let's do it. Let's get freaking wet. Thanks for listening, and later, guys. Damn.